What happens when your husband's family declares war on you? Not with shouts, but with whispers. They called me a thief in my own home. My husband believed them. So I stopped talking and started hunting. I planted evidence of my own, and what it led me to wasn't just an affair. It was a conspiracy where my husband was the paid actor. This is how I burned their stage down. Our dream had a name, Iceland, the Northern Lights. For 2 years, every Friday night, we'd curl on the couch and add money to the family fund. It wasn't just savings, it was a promise, a date with the Aurora. Then the emergency started. His sister Maya's car transmission died. Chloe needed a security deposit for an apartment that fell through. Each time, Mark would approach me with that scripted, pained look. Just a temporary loan from the fund. The first time, I agreed. Family helps family. The second time, I felt a twinge. By the third time, for Chloe's business venture, that twinge had become a silent, screaming alarm bell. I said yes to the $5,000, but that night I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling and realized I wasn't just his wife anymore. I was a line of credit his family had approved, and I never signed the papers. 1 week later, the silence in my gut was deafening. I waited until Mark was snoring. Then, in the dark, the blue glow of my laptop felt like a detective's flashlight. I typed the password. The page loaded, and there it was. Not a low balance, not a few hundred left. A perfect, round, terrifying zero. $0. 2 years of next years and some days wiped clean. I actually laughed. A dry, hollow sound. Then I scrolled, refreshed, closed the app and reopened it. The zero stared back, unwavering. It wasn't a mistake. It was a statement. The next morning, I confronted him. Mark, the fund is empty. He didn't look up from his phone. Hmm? Oh, that? Yeah, the loan to Chloe. I told you. You told me a loan, Mark. You didn't tell me you drained the entire well. He finally glanced at me, his face a mask of practiced annoyance. You're catastrophizing. They're paying it back with interest. It's fine. Then he did it. He walked over and patted my head. Twice. Pat, pat. You just forget about it. My skin crawled. In that condescending pat, I saw everything. I wasn't his partner. I was the inconvenient shareholder in Mark and Sisters, Inc. I didn't argue. I just smiled a thin, empty smile and said, okay. That okay was the sound of a door locking from my side. The vacation was gone. Now the investigation began. The ambush came that Sunday, dinner at his mother's. The air was thick with roast chicken and lies. Maya, the older one, put down her wine glass with a theatrical clink. We're worried about you, she began, her voice dripping with false syrup. Mark says you're obsessing over money, hiding packages, creating drama. Chloe, the younger one, played the concerned angel. We just want peace in the family. All this tension over loans, it's not healthy. I sat there, my fork frozen midair. They'd crafted a masterpiece. I was the unstable, greedy wife. They were the concerned saints. And Mark? I looked at him. He was intently cutting his meat, studying the pattern on the plate like it held the secrets of the universe. He wouldn't meet my eyes. They're just worried, babe, he mumbled to his plate. That was the moment the last thread snapped. He wasn't just siding with them, he was their co-author. This wasn't a misunderstanding, it was a coordinated campaign. My crime wasn't taking money, it was asking where it went. I finished dinner in silence, a ghost at their table, already planning my counterattack. That night, fate handed me a weapon. He left his phone on the couch, charging. The shower was running. My heart wasn't racing, it was beating with a slow, steady, terrifying rhythm. This wasn't jealousy, this was due diligence. I opened his messages with sis group. The texts weren't just damning, they were instructional. Maya. Did she buy the story about the Amazon packages? Mark. She's suspicious. The check from Chloe goes in the mail tomorrow, then we're clear. Chloe. Just act normal. If she brings up the fund again, tell her she's being paranoid. It always works. Mark. I know. She'll drop it. It always works. Those 3 words lit up the dark room. This wasn't the first time. This was their playbook. My trust wasn't broken. It was a budget item they'd calculated and written off. A cold, clean fury replaced the hurt. I took photos with my own phone, not just screenshots. I filmed my hand scrolling through the messages, capturing his contact name, the timestamps. This wasn't emotion. This was evidence. The next text was my roadmap, an address for Chloe's business meeting the following day. I didn't confront. I went shopping. Online. A small magnetic GPS tracker arrived in a plain box 2 days later. The night before her meeting, I became a shadow. I drove to their parents' house where Chloe was staying. At 2 a.m. in the dead quiet, I knelt on the cold driveway. The streetlight felt like a spotlight. My hands didn't shake as I clicked the device onto the inside of her SUV's rear bumper. I was calm. This was no longer about my marriage. This was a forensic audit of my life. The next day, I watched the little blue dot on my phone like it was my own heartbeat. It left her street, turned toward the business district, and then veered off. It stopped at a high-end furniture store for 40 minutes. Then it traveled to the city's most luxurious day spa, the Oasis. It settled there. Business meeting. I took a screenshot of the map, the timestamp clear. Proof isn't a feeling. It's a dot on a map at a spa at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. I drove there. I didn't know what I'd do, but I knew I was done being a character in their story. It was time to write my own chapter, and it started in that spa parking lot. I saw her first, Chloe, emerging from the spa's glass doors, glowing, not with entrepreneurial stress, but with a facial. She carried shopping bags from boutique stores, laughing on the phone. I stepped out of my car and into her path. Business must be good, I said. Her head snapped up. The color drained from her face. Anya? What? How are you here? Funny, I said, not smiling. I followed the $5,000 business loan. It led to a massage and a shopping spree. Explain the ROI to me, Chloe. She stammered. I had a migraine. I needed to relax. You can't just follow me. I can, I said calmly, holding up my phone, and I did. The GPS log is fascinating. Want to see where your business really went? She didn't answer. She fumbled for her phone, her hands shaking. She was calling Maya. Maya called Mark. The hive was buzzing. The cavalry was coming. But I wasn't afraid. I was ready. They descended on our house like I'd committed a crime. Maya stormed in first. You're stalking her now? You're unhinged. Chloe followed, the perfect victim, sobbing. I felt violated. She's dangerous. And then Mark. He walked straight past me. He went to them. He put his arms around his sister's shoulders, forming a solid wall of 3. He looked at me over their heads, his face a mask of disgust. Look what you've done. Are you happy? You've traumatized my family over your paranoia. Apologize now. The room went silent. I looked at the 3 of them, huddled together, the unified front, and I felt nothing. No hurt, no anger, just a crystal clear clarity. I smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. I'm not apologizing, I said quietly, but since you're all so concerned about money, let's look at the books. I walked to the coffee table and picked up my tablet. While you were all staging interventions, I was doing some real accounting. I pulled up not our joint account, but a secret savings account in Mark's name, one he thought I didn't know about. The password was our dog's birthday. He never was creative. 3 deposits, Mark, I said, my voice filling the quiet room. October 12th, 1500 from Maya. October 19th, 2000 from Chloe. October 26th, another 1500 from Sisters Fund. I turned the screen to them. Each deposit landed exactly 1 day after a loan was withdrawn from our family fund. They weren't paying use back, they were paying you back, a commission for managing the asset, for handling the naive wife. The silence was absolute. Maya's defiant smirk vanished. Chloe's tears dried up instantly. Mark's face, it didn't collapse in guilt. It just went blank, then slack, empty. The performance was over. There was no script for this. How did you, he stammered. It doesn't matter, I said. The only thing that matters is the math, and the math says my husband was a paid informant in his own marriage. They left without another word. The sisters couldn't look at me or at Mark. The alliance had a crack, and truth poured in, drowning them. The papers came a week later. He signed them without contest. The last I heard, Maya and Chloe are too dizzy to loan him money for his new apartment. The irony is a quiet comfort. As for the Iceland fund, I took what was legally mine. I'm going alone this winter to see the northern lights. I want to stand in that cold, brilliant silence, to finally feel a chill that has nothing to do with the heart. A clean, honest cold, the kind that reminds you you're alive and alone and free. Your gut feeling is data. Don't ignore it. Subscribe for more real, raw betrayals. We bring you the raw truth of real betrayals, narrated to hit where it hurts. Because sometimes the proof you need is in the story you hear. Turn on notifications. Your intuition will thank you.